Today I will be telling you 10 series that I want to read and complete in 2020. My name is Lexi and welcome back to my channel. I am very excited for this video. So if you're anything like me, I will get very excited from the premise and the sounds of a series, and then I will usually buy one or multiple books within the series, and then either I'll read the first book and then stop, or I'll get intimidated by the amount of books in the series and I won't ever start it. The thing with series is that they are a little bit of an investment. They take a lot of time usually to complete, and sometimes that can be a little bit intimidating. But 2020 is the year that I get through all of the series that I have purchased, that have been on my mind, and that I've heard a lot of really great things about. So let's get started. Let's start with middle grade, then we'll go to YA, and then we'll end with adult because I don't have that many adult ones. Okay, the first series is one that I'm very intimidated by because there are 5 books in the series. They're not long or anything, but the thing is they are well loved. And am I gonna love them? I don't know. So that series, I think you're gonna be surprised by this one, is the Percy Jackson series. That's right, I have not read a single Percy Jackson book in my entire life. So I have been wanting to pick up this series for such a long time. It's just that I haven't because Rick Riordan's world is epic. You've got this series, and then you've got all of the series that connect to this series somehow or branch off from this series. But 2020 is going to be my year that I fall in love with Percy Jackson, just like everybody else has. So I'm very excited to start this. I don't know anything about this. I know that it's about a boy who discovers that he is a demigod, and it's kind of like his journey learning to navigate his powers and finding out exactly who he is. Very excited for this. Obviously, I got the whole set. So the next series I'm not starting, I just want to complete, and that is the School of Good and Evil series. I haven't read this one, for example, Quest for Glory, but the first book is like one of my favorite middle grades of all time, and that is just the School of Good and Evil. And I've read, I think, 3 books after that, or no, the other 2 books after that. This is definitely one that I need to read to complete the series. If you are unaware, if you have not read The School of Good and Evil, it's fantastic and I highly recommend it. It's about 2 girls who are best friends, Sophie and Agatha, and they are whisked away to the School of Good and Evil, where one is supposed to learn how to be a witch, and then the other one is supposed to learn how to be a princess. And Sophie thinks that she is destined to be a princess, and Agatha believes that she is destined to be evil. But when they get there, it turns out that Agatha is supposed to be the princess, and Sophie is supposed to be evil. And it's just kind of the exploration of what makes someone good or evil inherently, and their relationship, their friendship. It's really wonderful. It's super cute. There's a couple of really cute little romances like with some of the other characters who also go to the school. It's really sweet and precious, and I just really loved that book so much, and I need to complete the series. The next one is one that I forgot, so I'm making this list into 11, but I'm gonna keep the title the same because, oh well. And that series is The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making by Catherine M. Valente. I really wanna get through this middle grade series. It's about a girl named September who is whisked away to Fairyland, and it is her destiny to save Fairyland. And I've heard that this series is whimsical and charming and beautiful and lyrical and lush. Every single adjective that basically I look for when I'm picking up a book series. I'm very excited. Let's go to Fairyland. I think those are my only middle grade series that I really want to push and try to get through this year. So let's move on to YA. So the first one that I really want to get to is Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, and I'm very excited to read this. I have been putting it off for a while because I'm not very into sci-fi, but everyone says that it's so phenomenal, and Jay Kristoff is one of my favorite authors, so obviously I'm gonna read this. This is really cool though too, I'm sure you've seen this, but it's mixed media, which I think is really neat. So it has different, I don't know, emails and notes and things that you're reading to kind of put together the story, and it sounds really, really excellent. If you were to ask me what this is about, I would say, I don't know, because I don't know. What I do know though is that it is about two people who were in a relationship and they broke up and they have to escape their planet onto this fleet, and I guess the enemy is chasing them. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. This was a gift though from Stephanie Sass. Stephanie, thank you so much again. And I'm very excited to read this. I can't wait to kind of delve into it. The next series that I really, really want to make a priority in 2020 is the Diviners series by Libba Bray. This is one of the best books that I've ever read, and I really, really want to finish the series. I actually want to reread this one, which is an ambitious thing to say because this book is like 600 pages basically, and so is every book in this series. But my friend Liv gifted me the last book in the series that is already out. I know that the final book in the series comes out this year, and it's just making me want to really focus on this series. So this series takes place in the 1920s, which is a huge reason why I want to read it now, because it is the 20s again. And it focuses on a cast of characters. It's a very, very wide range of characters, and they all have different magical abilities. But the main protagonist's name is Evie, and Evie is psychic, but her ability is very unique because when she touches an object, she can actually see the object's past history. Well, anyways, Evie is a little bit of a wild card, and she goes to live with her uncle in New York who runs an occult shop, and there are all of these paranormal murders that are happening, and she kind of has to try to figure them out. But it's so much more than just that plot. It really is this interesting scope of a story that follows all of these different characters and all of their plots and all of their relationships. It's really a huge, masterful work. I love Libba Bray. She's one of my favorite authors. Her writing is impeccable, and I really want to continue on with the series. So I think I want to reread this one. I want to read the second one, the third one, and then the fourth one, which comes out this year, and it is the conclusion of the series. So I'm very, very excited for that. Next up here, I have got the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. I know not everybody connected to this book as much as I connected to this book, but I loved Stephanie's writing. I thought it was very lush and beautiful and definitely right up my alley. So I have read this book, but I would like to again reread it. I have all of the books in the series, so I have Finale and I also have Legendary. So I'd like to read all of the books in the series. This follows Scarlet, and Scarlet essentially is playing this very interesting game where all of the magic is supposed to be an illusion. But is the magic really an illusion? And the person who wins this game gets a wish. And it's got romance, it's got high stakes and tension and sibling dynamics. And when I read it, I thought it was really, really well done. I want to reread this so that I can read the other two books in the series. I think I'm really going to love the conclusion of this series. I'm very excited. This is, again, a really top priority for this year. Next is a book I'm not sure I'm going to like, but I have the entire series. And it is a big series, like there's a lot of books in this series, and that is Sara J Mascis' Throne of Glass. The reason I'm interested in this book is because it is such a staple for BookTube. So many people have read it, and whether you love it or hate it, I am very interested always in hearing everyone's opinions on this book and on this series. So I really want to read it so that I know what everyone is talking about when they are referring to this series. I don't know a ton about this series. I'm going into it very blind, but I know that it follows a character named Selena who is an assassin. I know that there is a little bit of love. I know that she has to prove herself in this court. I absolutely love Tamia Corvair. I absolutely love assassins in literature and in movies. So I think it has all of the makings for a book that I'm really gonna enjoy. Hopefully I like it because, I mean, I have the whole series, so. Next up is a series that I am desperate to read, and that is Six of Crows, and this is by Leigh Bardugo. Technically, I still have to read one book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, but I didn't connect to the middle book as much. But I have to read the last book before I can read this one. So I guess you can count 2 series in one that I have to complete in 2020. But I'm very, very excited about this book. I don't know a ton about it. I know that it follows a group of friends and they go on a heist. It's like Ocean's 11, but a little bit more fantastical and with morally gray characters. So sign me up. The last YA book that I have here is 3 Dark Crowns by Kendra Blake. I was supposed to buddy read this last year with my friends Kaylin and Allie, but I didn't do it because I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. So I have to read this. I'm very excited. I've heard it's dark and twisted and gritty, and I'm very excited to read it. I've said excited like a million times, I'm sorry. So 3 Dark Crowns is about 3 sisters, and the 3 sisters are all competing for power. So there can only be 1 queen. They're all triplets, and they all have to kill each other, which sounds, I mean, really horrible actually, honestly. But that's the way that this society always works, is that there's only 1 queen. And so 2 of them have to go. Sorry. And each queen has their own ability. 1 is a master with poison. 1 can control the weather, I believe. And then 1 is a naturalist. I don't really know what that means. But yeah, they have to use their abilities to knock out their other sisters. And it's just, it sounds really cool, okay? It sounds really, really cool, so I'm very excited. Okay, now we're on to the last 2, and they are adult. So this one is more of an author, and that is V.E. Schwab. I want to read her adult series, and I don't need to read both of these. I just want to read one, but it is between Vicious or A Darker Shade of Magic. I would like to read either of those series or both in 2020, but I just want to read more of V.E. Schwab in 2020 because I loved City of Ghosts from her. So this is about morally gray friends who became enemies, and they are trying to, I guess, become superheroes, but things go awry and it's like super villains. And then this one is about a guy named Kel who has a cloak, and his cloak allows him to enter different dimensions, like parallel dimensions of London. And I don't know anything else, but that sounds incredible. And then finally, the very last series that I really, really, really want to read in its entirety for 2020 is the Mistborn Trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. So here's the thing. I have not read a single Brandon Sanderson at all, and he is a staple in fantasy. Specifically though, I think for adult, although he has written some YA stuff as well. And I'm really, really, really intrigued and interested to read this. I've heard Way of Kings is excellent. I've heard a lot of really excellent things about him in general as an author. And I really want to start with this particular series, so I'm going to. I don't know anything about this series at all, which is, I mean, I think a feat in itself because everybody loves and talks about this on BookTube. All I know though is that this takes place after the chosen one failed and the bad guys won. And now a new person is going to try to save her world. That's all I know. I'm very excited about it. It sounds really dark and really epic. And also this edition is beautiful. Look at that. Well, you guys, that is it for my top 10-ish, 11 series of the year that I really want to get to in 2020. Do you have any series that you want to get to in 2020? If you do, please let me know down in the comments. And also, have you read any of these? Do you like these? Are there some that you think I'm going to really like? Or are there some of these series that you hate and you think that maybe I should avoid? If either one is the case, please let me know down in the comments. I love hearing from you, and I love adding your recommendations to my Goodreads account. So that is all for right now. I love you so much, and until next time, book lovers, keep your head in the clouds and your heart in a book, and I will talk to you later. Bye!
I will get close to your heartache if you won't open your door. I'm feeling kinda lost when your mind is hiding whatever that is choking your chest. I can see